Alright, it's the number 217 or 18, and I appreciate everyone's attention who watches this. Honestly, I don't even know what should I be talking about, because 200 days in a row I've been starting this video in the same way, and I have no idea what should I mention about, because everything seems to be ordinary. And even though today, for example, I woke up at 5:40, which is earlier than usually, still it doesn't feel like something occurred throughout the day. But alright, let me go then probably step by step, one by one. Yeah, the first thing, I woke up at 5:40. That was pretty good. And I went outside. I had 25 minutes walk, and it felt really strange. First, I couldn't take a bench. I couldn't sit anywhere because all the benches were wet, and it was 4 degrees in the morning. It's about to be the summer, right? But 4 degrees in the morning. Why? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculously cold, and yeah, I didn't really want to sit on any of the benches, and I just decided to have a walk. So I had a walk for 25 minutes, not that much, but in the morning that was enough for me. And why I said that it felt strange, because it seemed like I don't have anything proper in my mind. Some weird thought would pop up, and that's it. But on the other hand, when I returned home, when I started studying French, my mind was so clear. I didn't have anything. I didn't think about anything. I was able to focus on my studies, and that was surprisingly effective, I would say, because when I don't have any thoughts in my mind, I don't interrupt myself. I don't interrupt the process of studying. Therefore, I can be immersed in the process and learn the thing properly. So that was kind of interesting thing. Tomorrow, I hope I will do the same, but I checked the forecast. It's gonna be 4 degrees again. So I'm not really excited to to have a walk, but it's alright. It's alright. And now it's 9:20 p.m. So I should be already sleeping, ideally, because I'm pretty sleepy, and I don't want to sleep less than 8 hours, because yesterday I slept less than 8 hours. I mean today. And yeah, but so yeah, I just started talking about my day, and I didn't really develop this idea. So yeah, in the morning I woke up, I had that walk, then I studied French. It felt pretty good. Afterwards, I went to the gym, and I had such a long workout, because in one of my latest videos, I said that I need to reduce time that I spend for my workout and increase the time I spend to do cardio. But what do I do now? I don't decrease time that I spend during my workout, but I increase time for my cardio. As a result, I spend 2 hours, sometimes even more, having one workout, which is too much. Honestly, that's a lot. But well, yeah, I had my workout. It took quite a lot of time. Then I returned home, breakfast, all this stuff. Not gonna lie, I wasted nearly 1 hour, because I started watching one interesting video. Not even a useful one, but interesting video. Just I would say funny, like sort of amusing video that does not bring any value. But anyway, the idea is that I started watching that video, then I when I finished my breakfast, I still wanted to finish that video, so I kept watching and I wasted a lot of time. And because of that, it was hard to start studying. But anyways, I started. I allocated 1 hour 30 to study French. That was pretty good. After that, somehow I studied English, and at the same time I tried to not to be bored, meaning that I could easily get distracted by anything, which reduced my productivity, which is not good. One of the ideas that I actually have is to get rid of 80% of applications from my main screen, meaning that if I need to find something, I need to swipe down and to type, for example, email or YouTube or Spotify, whatever. But I don't need to see this on my main screen because it distracts me. Another thing, I wouldn't allow to send me messages from more than half of the applications. Therefore, I open them when I need, not when I have a message. For example, I remember a week, 2 weeks ago, I deleted Instagram and then I downloaded again, and I didn't allow sending me notifications, and that was great. I could refrain from using social media for a couple of days without having the internal tug of war to open that application, you know. So I just need to reduce distraction. And also what I noticed in the morning when I went outside, how can I say it, purposely or on purpose, I left my phone at home. And that was also a great feeling, because when your thoughts actually emerge in your mind, you cannot suppress them by picking up your phone. And it's great. So probably I should go to the library to study, though. I think it would work just to change the environment. I've never tried to go to cafe, for example. I think it could work as well, but it just feels weird. I mean, not weird, but I've never done it, and I don't know, my shyness or whatever doesn't allow me to do so. But it's not even a main point. I mean, I can be productive even at home, or I could go to the library. I just need to have not even a plan. I think one of the problems, though, it's not even the plan, but misunderstanding of what am I supposed to do when I have this plan of like 1.5 hour French. So 1.5 hour French, I don't always want to start it because I don't really understand what to do. But if I have the written assignment as watch a video and break it down, then work with vocabulary, then work with sentences, then work with one topic in the book to break the grammar, then repeat words 3 times. Yeah, that's understandable. I see the bullet points, the main assignments that I need to execute, and I can start executing them. And I think it's important. By the way, just caught myself with an idea to keep scheduling my days in my diary, not in my phone, because in my diary, I don't know, it feels better, honestly, because I don't need to hold my phone. I don't see anything. I mean, when I hold my phone, I might see other notifications, I might see all the other stuff on my phone, but when I look in my diary, I cannot see anything besides. the list of the tasks. But by the way, something also pretty good happened. I was pretty happy because of that. So I think also the other days I mentioned that I played logistics game when you need to change all the stuff, this and that, to understand how sales affect operations, how operations affect purchasing. The first part is purchasing, how purchasing affects operation, how operation affects sales, and how sales affects supply chain. Everything is interconnected. I mean, connected between each other. I'm not sure it is interconnected or whatever it's called, but what I mean is that one change in one area affects the rest of the areas. So you need to be very careful with your change. And initial stage when you start playing the game, the ROI is minus 12.9. Then I remember I did some changes. ROI became minus 15.3. And afterwards, I spent a lot of hours to figure out how everything works. I made some changes, and now the ROI is minus 4 only, which is huge increase and actually. And I still have a couple of rounds till the game is over. So again, I need to analyze and to decide on some changes. Probably I'm gonna do this tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. I have still 3 more days off. This is pretty good though. So I've got some time to study, to learn. I will try to do my best and to extract as much as possible value out of this time. And another thing, I don't know, I'm trying to come up with an idea. How could I restrict myself from using cheap spike of dopamines? Because the further I postpone this process, the easier it is to study for me. Because today, I fall, how to say it, fell in the trap, or I got caught by the trap or trap. I would honestly just go to sleep. So it actually happened to me that I started watching the video while having my breakfast. And what is the problem? When you have a breakfast, by default your dopamine goes up. So I know what I'm gonna do. So I will try to illustrate it because I watched the video. The video, by the way, I wanted to break it down even more. I have not done it yet. So I don't have my pen. Alright, whatever. So how it works. Here's the day. Here's the whole day, right? The whole line of your day. Normally it's straight. In the morning, when you wake up, you're doing some stuff, your dopamine might arise a little if you go for a walk. For example, this is your level of dopamine. Then you return home, you start studying, it goes down, but it does not really go below the baseline, and it returns to its base level, and you can keep studying pretty easily. But what happens when you are overwhelmed by dopamine? For example, if I'm having my breakfast, my dopamine is growing, and it's growing pretty high. And then if I'm watching a video on top of that, it's growing even higher. And you know what happens if your dopamine level grows too high? Then it drops even deeper. And then to return from that stage, you need a huge spike of dopamine because you see it's a huge difference. So what do? You might start scrolling, you might start watching more videos in order to satisfy this need, but here's the problem. You cannot satisfy it to that level that you had previously. So you can reach something like that, and then it goes down, and then it goes down, it just 30 here, and then it goes down even worse. And every time when you keep overwhelming your mind by dopamine, it's going higher, then it's going even deeper, and then it becomes worse and worse the more you provide dopamine. I mean, cheap dopamine. But for example, I'm explaining it pretty superficially. I will try to learn about this better and to explain it better. But so here's again our day. What happens if you have this irrational dopamine without extreme spikes when you study? For example, you study for a couple of hours, your dopamine goes up because you feel that you achieved something, that you managed to do some kind of decent amount of work, and then it goes down, but it doesn't really go below the baseline. It goes only a little, and then a small stimulation, even as reading a book, will go enough above this line to feel happy, to feel good, and then your baseline basically moves like that throughout the whole day, more or less. Not like this. It's not normal because when it goes too deep, you cannot return to the same peak point during the day. So it's very important not to be overwhelmed by cheap dopamine. And when I have my breakfast and when I watch some entertainment videos on top of that, it gives a huge spike of dopamine, and it's a big mistake. Or when I go to the gym and when I listen to the music, it also gives a huge spike. But normally how I struggle with that, like how I can overcome this problem, is after listening to the music in the gym, I just take off my earphones, then I'm coming home. It takes nearly 15 minutes, then I change my clothing, I go to cook my breakfast, I have my breakfast, and throughout that time my dopamine line stabilizes. So it's not that bad. Music is not a problem by and large. I know how to cope with that, but I don't know how to cope when I watch this video and then I have a breakfast at the same time, because afterwards it's almost impossible to start studying, and I'm trying to figure out, yeah, because I'm trying to explain this problem, but how it works basically in my case. I have breakfast, I watch video on top of that. After the video, I feel like, alright, I need to study, but I need to open Instagram, check something, because I need those cheap spikes of dopamine. So I keep opening Instagram. I may even open TikTok that I never open because I don't give a fuck about that. And I might start checking something I never check that does not matter at all, just because I need those spikes of dopamine. And it's a horrible feeling, because at some point I feel that I genuinely don't want to start studying, so I turn up music and I try to study having my music on the background. That is draining my energy, and it's horrible. So I would say there are advantages of this situation. I understand how it works more or less, and I understand how to fight against it, or I don't know how could I put it properly. So yeah, I mean, this day was not really bad because I started my day since early morning, and I had a lot of time, enough time to procrastinate and also to get something done. So it was not really bad, but it could be way better. All right. Hopefully tomorrow I will have a better days. I already have less than 8 hours to sleep, so maybe I will wake up at 6 because I don't really want to sacrifice my sleeping. We will see. But oh yeah, I won't be able to go to the gym at 7, so yeah, I can sleep some longer because I have a meeting at 10 a.m. till that meeting I won't be able to go to the gym. So yeah. All right, without being said, I will try to make those changes, the things that I analyzed today, and I will share tomorrow with some changes, some results. I don't know, we will see. So see you in the next one.